everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a lovely day. Thanks so much for joining me. Well, today I have a card kit here. It's not the monthly card kit from Simon Says Stamp. It's actually a limited edition Easter card kit. It's called Vintage Bunnies. I want to share with you what's in the kit, and then we're going to make a card project using it. So let's jump in and go over the kit contents. I already took it out of the bag. It was fully loaded, so I took it out of the bag already. I'm going to set the box to the side, and then we're going to go over everything step by step. First off, we get a sheet of 8.5 by 11 of Simon Says Stamp's Ivory cardstock. We also get a sheet of Simon Says Stamp's Sage cardstock. And then we get a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of, this is a nice heavyweight light pink glitter cardstock. We get 2 envelopes in the kit. One is khaki and one is ivory. They're both metallic, and they both, you just remove the backing and you can seal it. So no licking your envelopes here. Also included are some fun Easter treat bags. You get one of these. This has a Ziploc top. You can see you can stuff it here, and then you can seal it so nothing's going to fall out of it. But the nice thing about this bag too is there's a gusset on it. Let's open it up. Let me see if I can show you the gusset. Share with you what we could put in it. This is Simon's glue. So if you could put big things in here, big candies. You see the gusset on the bottom. And I think it will stand up. Yeah, it stands up. So how cute is this? Easter grass candies, a nice little treat bag. Basket shaped pouch with zipper, and this is the stand-up bag, so lovely. And then you also get 2 craft bags, and these have a heavy gusset too. They're zip locked. It'll seal what's inside, so if you want to put cookies in there, they're going to stay fresh. But the gusset on here is nice and big too. Let me put the glue in this one. There's a little buddy window in here. There's the bottom, so you can see it opens wide. And then you have the little bunny on top, and it stands up. So you can put lots of fun little treats in there and seal it, and you can decorate the top. You get 2 of these little window stand-up zipper pouches. So cute. Also included, let's see, what else? Next, we're going to go over some pattern papers. You get 6 pattern papers, and they're all, you got eggs, bunnies, there's crosses, and then if you flip them over, you have some cut-aparts, and then you have some imagery. You even get some greetings in here that you can trim out. Look how pretty that is. That'll make a nice little picture frame. A little bunny in the corner here. Double-sided 6x6 sheets of pattern paper. And this is from Paper Rose Easter Memories paper pack. I love that. So 6 of those. And then also included is this 6x6 sheet. Well, it's a little bit longer because you have the top piece here. But these are great for cutting out and adding layers to your card. This is from a different company. This sheet's from Craft Consortium. It's just one-sided. And this is from their Wildflower Meadows collection. So these are Paper Rose. This is Craft Consortium. But believe it or not, they go beautifully. The colors are wonderful. They blend perfectly, just like Simon always does their kits. They make pretty amazing kits. Okay, let's go over our stamp set. This is the Vintage Bunnies 6x8 stamp set. Just gorgeous. Lots of Easter greetings in here. Okay, and it has a kind of a Tim Holtz vibe to it, and I just love that. We get an embossing folder, but not only is this an embossing folder, it's an embossing cut folder. This is called Hatching Chicks. And look how cute. You get 2 of the hatching chicks that are in here. One of them has one arm open, the other one has both arms open. So you can cut out the little bunnies and add a little dimension. So there's 2 dies in here and an embossing folder. That's included. And then we also get a stencil, which I just love. This is called the Delicate Lattice. I don't know if you can see it in here. Let's take a look. I'm just going to open this up here. Really pretty. perfect for spring. That's included. And then we also get another die. It's fully loaded. You get another die set. This is the Bouncy Happy Easter die set. There's 2 pieces in here. So you get the shadow, and then you get Happy Easter that's very delicate. I think this was in Simon's classroom that Simon had, but it's really pretty. You also get an exclusive Simon Says Stamp Blessed Easter Sentiment strip sheet. This goes with the easy strips, so if you have the easy strips die, you can cut this out. Okay, that's included. We get another stencil, and this is a smaller one. This is called the Pinwheel stencil, and it's a 2-piece set that you can create really fun backgrounds with this. It's like the perfect size. Let me open it up here. So they work. So you layer them together and you get 4 little pinwheels that you can create. So fun. That's also included. Okay, and then we're going to go in for the bells and whistles. Okay, we get 4 Distress Oxide ink, mini ink cubes. Okay, this one is from Tim Holtz, and it's a pack, and it is called, this is just called Kit 3. Okay, there is bundled sage, crushed olive, peeled paint, and cracked pistachio. All the lovely greens in here. Perfect for spring. Simon also, to brighten it up a little bit and to go with some pattern paper, Simon included, oh, I love butter. This is Simon Says Stamp's Positively Saturated Ink Cube. You could watercolor with this, but this is butter. Okay, butter is a beautiful yellow. So they included that. And then there's also some Distress Spritz. This is from Tim Holtz, and it is the cracked pistachio. You want to give it a good shake, and this adds a nice little detail to your backgrounds. So that's included. And then also included is a full jar of Ranger Stickles. This is glitter gel called Sunshine. I don't know if you can tell in here, but not only does this have glitter in here, but it looks like it has the long little flakes. Big flakes. Maybe not long ones, but big chunky flakes. So this will add a little sparkle to somebody's day. And then we also get some ribbon. And then there's a charm. The charm's from Tim Holtz Ideology, and it's a little sweet charm. And then you get 1 yard of, let's see, let's take it out. This is seam binding, and I just love seam binding. But look at how pretty it is. I love seam binding because you can use it crinkled. Crinkled is always nice. And this is, I don't know if this has a color. It's May Arts Robin's Egg Wrinkled Silk Ribbon. So maybe it's not seam binding, it's silk ribbon. But you get lots in there, and all the colors just go beautifully. Beautiful. So we're going to maybe make a cracked pistachio card, because we got a lot of things that blend. And then the charm is just adorable. It says sweets. And they've even included a little assortment of Jelly Bellies. How cute is this? It sounds really good right now. I have a sweet tooth. So this is the Simon Says Stamp Easter card kit called Vintage Bunnies. And I do want to mention too that there's some add-ons that can go with the kit. For as far as the Vintage Bunnies stamp set, there is a coordinating die from Simon that will cut out the greetings, not the typewritten greetings, but the scripty ones, and then it'll also cut out all of the imagery. So there is a coordinating die set that that's available for purchase. And then also, if you really like these are the Happy Easter Easy Strips. Simon also has the reverse. So if you, white's beautiful, okay, but they also have the black, which is the reverse Blessed Easy Strips. So there's option 2 if you like the reversed. Now that you've seen the kit, I guess we're going to need to create a project. I'm going to put everything to the side and let's create a card. So I taped down their index. So on the bottom here, this, I think I got it on the right spot. Yeah. We're going to use stencil 1. Okay, I did tape it down just so it doesn't shift anywhere. Okay, I have the full size, so I'm going to use my full size ink pads because they're opened and ready to go. We're going to start with Bundled Sage. I'm just going to bring in my blending brush here, pick up a little bit of ink, and we're going to go over this. Okay, And then I'm going to add a little extra color to the edges using, actually I have to use my finger daubers. I'm using finger daubers because my finger daubers is what I use with my oxide inks. I use my blending tools like this or my shader brushes. I use these with my dye-based inks. So that's why I switch out and use finger daubers. But I'm going to use one of them with my crushed olive here. And I'm going to add a little bit of crushed olive in the center. There's, you can see 4 squares here. I'm going to add a little bit of crushed olive in the center and just kind of fade out, just drawing little circles in those 4 centers. Okay, and then I'm going to go back with my bundled sage, and then we're going to blend it together. This part, I think, just makes it blend beautifully, just around the edges here. And then we can wipe this off. And we'll remove our stencil here. Lovely. And then we'll add layer number 2. You know, I thought these were indexed, but they're not. But I'm going to use my next stencil, and we're just going to tack this down. Pretty good. And then this is where I'm bringing in the Ranger Starshine glitter. This is like Easter in a jar. It is so fun. I'm going to go ahead and add some with my spatula, and we're going to go over the white with this. This has a funny consistency. It's very, very smooth. It's almost like a jelly, I would say. Like a jelly. So we're spreading our glitter over here. Okay, this may take a little bit of time to dry, so that's why we're doing this first. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lift this up. I'm going to go ahead, ooh, that's not what I wanted to do, but let's go ahead and remove the stencil. Ooh, that looks really pretty. Clean off the edges because I do like the white border. And I think that's going to make a great panel for my card today. I just love how bright and cherry that is. Now I'm going to take this to the sink and wash this off along with my mat. And then we're going to move on and do a little bit more stenciling. Cleans off really well with just hot soapy water. Okay, now we're going to take this stencil. This is, again, the Delicate Lattice. I'm going to bring in some white cardstock. We'll add this here, and then we'll add this stencil right over the top. And we're going to do a little bit of inking on here, but this time we're going to be using our butter ink. So let's bring in my blending brush. We'll just pick up a little bit of ink here. And we're going to go over this. We're going to wipe off our stencil. And we will take a look. I just think this is so pretty. Look how nice. There's little knots in between them, which are really pretty. I'm going to take this and put this on the front of my card base. Okay, now we're going to take our stamp set and we're going to stamp. I really think this little bunny, he looks like Peter Rabbit. I'm going to take this little bunny and I'm going to stamp him. I'm going to stamp him with my black ink. Okay, what I'm going to do is color in the coat of this bunny, but just the coat, and I'm going to use peeled paint and bundled sage for this. Okay, I'm going to use a water brush. March's card kit actually has a water brush that you can use. And then I'm going to pick up some of my bundled sage and I'm going to go over the coat. So really, I guess I could zoom in a little bit more. So I went over the coat. Okay, and then there's a shirt that's behind the coat, and then there's the and then the cuff of the coat, I want a different color. So that's where I'm going to bring in my peeled paint. So let's pick up some peeled paint here and add a different color to those areas. Now, you know, as I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the stamp set, and there's a carrot in here. I think I'm going to stamp the carrot. So I want to take the carrot too. Let me bring in an acrylic block. And then I am going to bring in one extra thing. I'm using my carved pumpkin for that carrot. I'm going to add a little extra color. So maybe, yeah. Carved pumpkin will do the trick here. Okay, I'm going to give this a second to dry, and then I'm going to take the coordinating dies and I'll cut out my Easter blessings, and then I'm also going to cut out, well, everything. The carrot, the bunny. I'll do that and I'll be right back. These elements are die cut out. While I was die cutting, I also die cut out some foam to put behind one of the carrots. Let me see if I got it the right way. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. And I'm going to add a dimension behind the carrot, one of them, and then also behind our Easter blessings. Just to give these a little bit of dimension. Now, as far as the bunny goes, I'll just put foam squares behind the bunny. Okay, now, as I'm looking at this, I think we're going to do a little splattering with our spritz, our Distress Spritz. I'm going to open this up here, and we're going to add just a little bit of splatter. I don't want a lot, but just a little bit of Distress. Look, my camera cut off. I'm sorry, but I did add some spritz to the stencil background. This is really pretty. It has a metallic hue to it. I didn't realize that. In fact, I'm going to add a little bit of this. I'm going to spray some here. And then I'm going to add a little bit of metallic. Using my water brush, I'm going to add a little bit of this to the coat. So it has a little bit of sheen. Well, I think this is going to be awesome. There we go. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but you see that sheen? How awesome is that? I'm going to add it to his shirt too. Okay. Well, that looks amazing. Love this. Okay. And it dries really fast too, which is really nice. I went ahead and used my heat gun to dry this. And when you dry the Stickles glitter gel, it kind of bubbles up. And I actually like the way that looks. But if you want it to look natural, flattened, I would just let it air dry. Okay, in our stamp set, there is a greeting that says, full of hope, joy, and new beginnings. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this on an acrylic block, and we're going to do some little extra stamping in the background. Okay, I'm going to use my memento, and I'm going to double stamp. So let me bring in some scratch paper. Okay, I'm going to ink this up, stamp it on some of my cardstock, and I'm going to stamp it here, and we'll do the same thing, and I'm going to overlap them to give this a little bit of a distressed look. Oh. That's okay. There we go. Okay, that way my black images will kind of blend in with the background. Now we're gonna put it together. First, we're gonna use our our silk ribbon. Okay. I may have to adjust it. I think I have to scoot it over just a little bit here. This is going to make your card a little bit bulky, but I like it. I actually like the sweets too. So I'm going to bring in some twine. Subtle. So I'm going to reuse my white iridescent cord. I'll trim down a small piece. And we'll add this. There we go. Okay, and then I'll put some foam tape behind here. This little charm. I'm not going to add it yet because I don't know if I'm going to adjust this or not. I'm going to use my scissors. Let's distress the edges of this cardstock here, just to give this a little bit of a vintagey look. Here we go. And then I did pop it up with foam tape, so we're just going to remove the release paper. And I'm going to add it, I think I'm going to have it overhanging a little bit at an angle. I think that's a good spot right there. And then what's overhanging I'm going to trim off. Okay. And then we can add our little bunny, which I popped up with foam tape. We'll add him here. And then I'm going to remove the release paper off of my foam tape in our little charm. And we're going to add this over here. And I kind of like, and I'm going to leave the tails of the ribbon and the twine a little bit longer. I kind of like the way that looks. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little glue, and I'm going to customize the crinkle of my ribbon. This is such thin ribbon that you can do that. So just add a little glue, and you can customize it. You see how you can manipulate it? So sweet. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Add a little glue. You can There we go. I think that looks adorable. And then lastly, I'm bringing in some of my white opal liquid pearls, and we're going to add a few pearls in the background too. And that will finish off my card project for today. Fun little vintage card using most everything from the limited edition Easter kit from Simon called Vintage Bunnies. And the only thing we really brought in was our liquid pearls, our white iridescent cord, and then I did also bring in my carved pumpkin for a little extra color. But everything else is using the kit, which is just awesome. Hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.